Hey there everybody, it's McWilliam again here with another game replay commentary for Wargame Escalation in a multiplayer 3v3. This one's a pretty good game. It's older than my first game replay commentary thing, but I wanted to show this one because I thought a lot of stuff happens. This guy over here, Rage, he pulls a crazy like defense over on this hill by Tango here. He just uses that hill really well, and despite having kind of a semi-poor choice of units in terms of like support helicopter gunships, he relies really heavily on these. And it just they don't have the killing power necessary, but they definitely do their job to hold off a lot of Soviet tanks and stuff. Because, you know, they're Hueys. They don't have the firepower, they just have rocket pods and Gatling guns. The gunships have Gatling guns. The heavy hogs have grenade launchers. They don't have the firepower to really kill tanks. And that's what the Warsaw Pact sends a lot of at them. But in combination through the demoralizing factor and the stun factor, with some infantry and recoilless rifles even. I mean, I don't see recoilless rifles used much, but here they are. These recoilless rifle units. Little APC thing with a fucking recoilless rifle on it. And he actually uses those and some infantry, and he holds off the tanks. A lot of tank assaults with him on that hill, because he just uses this hill brilliantly up by Tango. There's going to be a lot of action going on around there. Let's see, my plan from the get-go was I got these links. 3 of these groups are filled with British paratroopers. The last group is filled with British SAS. The paratroopers have LAWs, rocket launchers, and the SAS have anti-aircraft guns and are good at spotting. So that was my plan, is to bring those guys, hellborn them into this kind of warehouse, and like this is a very weird place to live because they got houses and then they got these like industrial warehouses like here in the middle of nowhere. I guess it's for farms and shit, I would think. Like storage for all these farms that we're fighting in. But whatever. I'll bring my SAS and stuff over here. Sorry, I'm eating Skittles while I do this. It's probably a bad idea, I'll stop. Skittles. Sour Skittles. Alright. So I drop off my my airborne units here, and they're basically just there to hold that and make sure to fuck up anybody who comes in through here. And they do some pretty awesome stuff later on in the game. And then my armored force, consisting of my Leopard 2s and some Leopard 1A5s, with some these other APCs with Jaegers and some recon vehicles and stuff. They're going to move through all the way up to these woods and echo and try and ambush people who might come through here. That's the plan. And then I got these command vehicles, or this command vehicle hiding off in the woods. Some flak panzers guarding it, and then I have this command vehicle. It's gonna move up into Kilo and chill out there, get some points. This guy, he eventually decides to just move all of his units to Charlie. Let's see when he does that. But then he leaves his fobs here. He completely abandons Alpha and moves into Charlie. I don't know why, because like Alpha's worth 2 points. I mean, yeah, it's not a reinforcement point, but like it's like 2 points you start out with, and it'd be nice to just get those 2 points at the beginning. And then he leaves his comm vehicles just fucking sitting here in the open. And then he moves like his tanks and shit. He moves like his tanks and his artillery and stuff like back over when the game starts. He moves his shit back over to Alpha. And I don't understand. And he just does some shit, and like halfway through the game he leaves, and then Rage over here takes over his units. Which kind of sucks, because then he's like dealing with the right side, and then he's dealing with the left side. And he's got a lot of shit going on over here by fucking Tango. Alright, so the game has begun. Want to see my Lynxes take off. Oh yes, I also get the armed Lynxes with rocket pods. Because my kind of philosophy with airborne infantry is get an armed transport helicopter, because if you don't get an armed transport helicopter, the transport helicopter basically becomes like this really shitty scout helicopter after you drop your infantry off. Unless you want to hide them in the back and like move your infantry around later. But yeah, at least with armed helicopters, they can help like support your airborne infantry and stuff, and they can go around and really harass stuff. And that's one weakness NATO has compared to Warsaw Pact, I find, because this is the only armed transport helicopter option you have, is the Lynx AH-7. And its armament is pretty weak. It's just a couple rocket pods that aren't even particularly powerful. But it's better than nothing. And this is why I get these British airborne units, even though they're not like the best. It's just because they have armed transport helicopters. And I find that makes a pretty big difference. But yeah, Warsaw Pact, when it comes to armed transport helicopters, they have so many choices. Like even the Mi-8, there's like 5 or 4 or 5, I'm pretty sure it's 5 different variants. You got the unarmed one, and then you got one with rocket pods, and then you got one with machine guns and ATGMs maybe? What's the one with, what does the machine gun one have? I forget, the machine gun one comes with something else too. And then there's one with just ATGMs, and then there's the last one is another rocket pod version with larger, more powerful rockets, but less of them. And then fucking Warsaw Pact has the Hind, which is a full-fledged gunship that can also transport infantry. So, like, Warsaw Pact really has an advantage with airborne units, with the fact that they have armed helicopters, whereas NATO only has the Lynx AH-7. Okay, so here you go. He's got these hogs, and he's got those OH-58CSs, those air-to-air missile-equipped helicopters. And he just shot down the enemy recon scout helicopter. And then his Hueys effectively rocket pod the shit out of that recon vehicle. That's pretty much the only kill they're gonna get here. But he does a pretty good job here, and he harasses the shit out of these T-80s. You see, they're stunned. They're like panicking like crazy, cause you know, you're in a tank, you don't know what the fuck's going on. Fucking explosions are rocking you left and right. I mean, Granted is like not doing any much, like hardly any damage. This one's taking 0 damage. This one's taking 2 bars of health worth of damage, which is kind of more than you typically get. But they are freaking the fuck out. This guy's rooting. Now he's rooting. They're running away. That's a really good delaying action. And it separates his forces and makes his assault that much weaker, which is pretty nifty. Surprisingly, no one is coming for the center village yet. It's really weird. So yeah, here you can see that he moved all his shit back up to Alpha for some reason, and then he's like hiding behind the village. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. He's got these self-propelled artillery that's just kind of not doing anything. And these guys are just gonna roll through here, and they're just gonna keep going. He's gonna shoot one. I'm surprised they don't take more casualties, because, like, fucking all these leopards. Granted, they're leopard 1A1s, so their accuracy is kind of shit. But, they just roll through, and they lose, like, 1 APC. And they just keep going, because I'm surprised that he didn't stop and, like, try to engage. But, this kind of smarter, just keep running. Just goes, woo, and just drives down here. And he does shit with these guys. Bam, there's the kill, and then they just keep running. These Spetsnaz guys even get away. Surprisingly. Let's go over here. Oh, so here, yeah, you can see my Lynx is running away now. I saw that this big group of tanks was coming over down here. I was like, T-80s and BMPs and shit, and I was like, well, that's shitty. So I brought my Lynxes up and focused my fire on these BMPs, which I had the best chance of damaging. So you can see some of them, a couple of them are really badly damaged and they're freaking the fuck out. They're rooting, which makes this assault that much weaker. And he's bringing up some reinforcements to this hill. And his T-80s and the BMP 285s meet him and intercept him. And then there was a firefight! Boondocks reference, best movie of like all time. If you haven't seen it, what the fuck are you doing? Go watch it now. Alright, so this thing's like pro. This M150 tank destroyer, it destroys these T-80s, which is the big thing. Boom! T-80 gone. It's just like, thank God. Alright. Shosei Famaz like hold out for like a really surprisingly long time. Bam! Get one more BMP. That thing's super damaged. Alright. Now I called in some Cobras. Because I saw that and I was like, we need some like good gunships to fucking kill this shit. And here you see he's bringing those units that were rooting before. They're rallied again and they're coming back down. But then he sees the Cobras. I love that when you fucking give like helicopters attack orders. The guys will like on both sides, like no matter what fucking nationality they are, they just go and in different accents. So like it's fucking awesome. You get Russian and German and American and British guys doing that shit. It's fucking hilarious. But yeah, these guys die, and then he's like, fuck that, Cobras. I have no A in the area and those Cobras will just kill me with impunity. And then he brings up some starships. Some heavy armor, thank God. Because he had like no heavy armor before he brought these starships in. And that kinda stops this little probe. These guys run away to live another day. Probably could have caused some pretty heavy damage, but you know, whatever. So the Spetsnaz guys, they had like taken like 6 casualties, but then he moved everyone out to do I don't know what the fuck. And so the Spetsnaz guys are just like, okay, and then they capture the FOBs and use the FOBs to reinforce themselves. Then he brings these other BTRs and Special Forces guys through here, and he's trying to find my comm vehicle, which he misses. He just goes right past without seeing them. And then he captures this FOB for a moment. Probably catch that later on. There's a lot of stuff goes on in this game, and we'll probably miss some stuff. Just can't catch everything because it's a very large map and a lot of shit's going on. So here's another little assault thing. He's got some T-64 Alphas, which are pretty solid tanks. And he's holding the line here with some recoilless rifles. This French recon unit. And there's some APCs. And it's pretty bad juju. But here come the gunships. Despite the fact that they are pretty largely out of ammo. I don't know why he hasn't resupplied them. He's got these really, this shitty default anti-aircraft gun. There's that M150 again. This thing's a MVP for him, I think. Once again, you see the effect of those rocket pods. They took some hits from the recoilless rifles. And some laws, I think, from these reps. And they're panicking and stuff. Well, one guy is. The guy who's like practically dead is calm for some reason. I have no idea why. But yeah, it's just the overwhelming firepower of these tanks. He doesn't have really anything here to hold the line. But then he's using this hill. It's a two-stage defense, and then he rushes in his T-64s to like eliminate these guys. And now he came over the slope, and he's vulnerable to fire from units on this edge. And then the Hueys stun him there with the rockets. So he just manages to like hold the line here. It's pretty crazy. Oh, here we go. Here's a big thing. There we go. Fucking Panzer Brigade 2. I have no idea what he's thinking, but he just sends his super fucking expensive MLRS systems Alton in here unescorted on the front, and they run right into all my paratroopers. Bam. Haha, the big points. The big points are mine. Bam, bam. And then he leaves. That'll happen any second now. Bam. He left because he lost his fucking MLRS because he was a total idiot. And my paratroopers are just like, fuck yeah, that was awesome. Free kills. Alright, so here we got like a large group of tanks. So those T-80 Bravos we saw before and these BMP 685s, and they're kind of just chilling here for right now. And here's this battle again. He's pushing again. And he just manages to hold this. He's got a substantially better chance now that he has these starships. But this guy's out of ammo, and that's kind of bad. If this guy wasn't out of ammo, he totally could have killed this like T-64 Alpha, like way easily. This guy's out of ammo too. It's just like shit. They're still shooting with their fucking. Oh, these guys don't have machine guns? I thought they did. How the fuck did he get a level up? I guess just being in combat. And then he calls in a shit ton of Hinds. I don't really know what he does with these. So I've watched this replay a couple times. I know eventually he brings these Hinds over here. It's unguarded. Oh yeah, I moved my guys out of Echo because I saw this shit was captured. And I was like, what's going on? I had no idea what was going on this side of the map because the guy who was over here was just freaking useless. And was doing nothing and had no intel or anything, so I brought these guys over, but then I saw like we were recaptured because Rage took command of his units when he left and took this ship back, and I'm kind of just like, huh. But here are these Spetsnaz and Special Forces dudes, the Czechoslovakian Special Forces and Spetsnaz. One thing about Spetsnaz, yeah, it says they have rocket launcher, but notice how it has 0 AP power. It has HE power of 3, and the caliber is napalm. So those rocket launchers are not effective against vehicles. Yeah. I don't know if they shoot them at like infantry or stuff, because for that HE that would be kind of effective. And also the range would be nice. Gives them a little anti-infantry power, but I don't think I've ever really seen them. I don't really see Spetsnaz fight too much, is one thing. So I don't really know if they shoot these rocket launchers at infantry units. I would imagine so. But yeah, they're not too good against tanks. They're pretty much completely defenseless against tanks for the most part. And these VPZU are equipped with RPGs, and they're pretty good with them. So they're pretty awesome special forces, and they have very good optics compared to Spetsnaz, which have just good optics. These VPZU take out these self-propelled artillery units, and then I think this one manages to get away. He orders it away. And it runs away, and then he captures his fob. My fob, no! But then I see this, and I call on the some 2 Leopard 1A5s. And the Leopard 1A5s wipe these guys out and recapture the fob for us. And I had just sent these lynxes out to do something. What did I send these lynxes out to do? I think there is an attack coming. I'm not sure what I sent those lynxes out to do, but they did something. Stuff. They probably came over here and helped. And well, there go those Hinds. The anti-aircraft teams took them out, and the flak panzers. Yay, flak panzers! And this one. This AA system is pretty fucking crazy. Just because it has like a super high rate of fire. This thing will launch missiles like fucking crazy. Problem is, it only has 4, but it launches them like really fast, and its accuracy shitty. So like you can launch all 4 of those missiles and like totally miss like everything. So like when this thing misses, it's like embarrassing. Like it'll like embarrassingly totally fail at shooting down any aircraft. But then I've had it where it's like it shoots 4 missiles and it shoots down fucking 4 aircraft. And it does it super fucking fast. So when it works, it fucking works like crazy. But it's a very unreliable anti-aircraft system, and it has very limited ammo. So it's a pretty unreliable choice. Here he had these T-55s parked out here. One of them got eliminated by my paratroopers right quick. You can see its carcass. And he parked these out here, and he didn't want to move them in. I guess he was waiting to see if my paratroopers would move out, but I wasn't stupid enough to do that and assault like fucking 7 tanks in the open with 20 paratroopers. Just 2 squads of paratroopers. That'd be kind of retarded. And then he decides to send these T-55s down the kilo and try to take out my comm vehicle here, but I had just brought my Leopard 2A4s up. And they pretty much raped these tanks. Gotta love Leopard 2A4s. Very, very solid tank. Just kind of shrugs that impact off. And even with these ATGMs, these ATGMs have an AP power of 10, and he takes a number of impacts. Like there, he just took 2, and he just kind of shrugs it off like it's nothing. And I retreated him a little bit because they were just moving in real close, and I didn't want him to get like split up and like start shooting at different angles. Oh yeah, I brought my Apaches in because I called 2 Apaches in. Like I had just called 2 Apaches in, and I was like, oh shit, a bunch of tanks and shit. And they were coming in from this side because I called them like over here. And then I saw that and I called them like over here, and they just happened to fly over these fucking 5 BTRs. And we're lucky none of them got shot down. Very lucky. Whew, scary. Yeah, these BTRs have like really powerful machine guns at 14.5 millimeter. It's like 50 cals are like 12.7. What's something with a 50 cal on it? I'm trying to think of what has a 50 cal on it. Do the TPZs have 50 cal? No. Some of these American tanks might have 50 cals on them. Yeah, it's 12.7 is a 50 caliber. So those are really powerful machine guns they have. The 14.5s. He's kind of probing, but these helicopters are just giving him so much trouble. These Hueys just keep harassing the fucking shit out of him. and he just can't seem to handle them. Like, no matter how much AA he brings. The big problem is that he doesn't bring any, like, SAM sights. He always keeps bringing the anti-aircraft artillery stuff. And it's mostly this shit, the default one. It's complete crap. Eventually he brings in, like, an upgraded version, but it's still anti-aircraft artillery. And, even those get fucked. It's just bad. Okay, so here, we see these, Fagos. And instead of the tanks parked out here, he parked the Fagos out here. And I was just like, well, if you're not gonna come in, I'm not gonna bother coming out. I'll just call in my Cobras and just rocketize you from a safe distance. Yum, delicious. It's pretty much just rocket the shit out of these guys until they all die. It's pretty awesome. The Lynxes are still like chilling here. I accidentally parked these two guys too far away, so they're not getting resupplied. I noticed that eventually when I was like, oh, I need some air support. Where are those Lynxes at? And I noticed that, and then I repark them. But these guys are good to go, so that's 4 Lynxes. Good to go. Notice that this guy is having, like, being probed by some T-64s. Later he calls in, like, T-80s, yeah. Here are the 2 T-80s. Here are these upgraded anti-aircraft guns, and he does a little assault when he brings these T-80s down. Does a little attack. And he guns lead the way. I don't know why. Probably because he's just like, fuck these fucking Hueys. He doesn't keep them very well supplied, though. Like, he keeps, bringing helicopters to his helicopters to resupply him. Keeping, like, supplied helicopters in the field. I don't know why. Just send the gunships down. Makes more sense to me. And then, that way your, supply helicopters have more supplies dedicated to, your ground units when the helicopters can go back themselves and resupply. And why use helicopters to resupply helicopters? Seems kind of silly to me. So here's this little assault. Here he goes. This guy's still out of ammo. It's kinda sad. Hueys are still fucking shooting the few rockets that they have left. Getting some stuns. Yeah, stun them bitches. What's this little assault here going down? Oh, these Hinds just, in the Havocs, just fuck these tanks up. So, because Leopards don't even have fucking machine guns, so they're completely defenseless. There's nothing they can do. Those are just free kills for these helicopters. And then he kind of just hovers them over here for a little bit, and then eventually he's just like gives the command order to destroy the FOBs and the supply truck. So that's pretty much what goes on there. There's no point to watch that. So he brings these guys with rocket pods. I guess he's just like, oh, we should probably kill this command vehicle with these. But I got mortars and leopard 185s. Pow. So your special forces ain't getting close. Leopards will fuck you up. Ain't touching my command vehicle. So yeah, you see that this assault got repulsed, and he brings his T-80s back to a safer distance to bombard his tanks with his superior T-80s. And then I see that, and see that he's getting harassed a bit. Where are my Apaches? 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 There they are. Yeah. So I sent my Apaches up. I was like, he's got one shitty ass AA. Let's go around. Make sure there's no because I didn't know if there were like missile systems over here, so I decided to move my Apaches over to this far side, get around these buildings. And he tries to hide his T-80s behind buildings, which works for a little while. Take out those BMPs, target the AA, so I can freely maneuver around these buildings without having to worry about some fucking AA gun. And then focus these T-80s. These T-80s are good tanks and worth many points. And these guys just getting so many ATGMs launched at them. Crazy. My Apaches pretty much fired all their Hellfires like super fucking quick. Notice that like they like use like 4 Hellfires for each target that they attack, because they'll launch a Hellfire. They'll each launch a Hellfire, and of course they both shoot at the same fucking target. And then by the time before like the first Hellfire even hits, they launch a second. So the first batch of Hellfires destroys the target, and then the second Hellfires are just like, okay, well, whatever, and they just fly off into the ether because they don't have a target. Even though I'm pretty sure the gunner could just like move the crosshairs over, because it's a like laser guided missile, so you just move the laser over to another tank, and that kind of stops you from wasting the Hellfire. Even if you don't do it like, you have to do it so fast that you don't get a good shot. At least you know you tried. Instead of just whoosh off into the ether. So yeah, they got like quite a few artillery pieces, and they just like to shell stuff that they don't have view of, so it's like a horrible dispersion rate. It's landing all over the fuck, and just not very effective. One lucky shell stunned 3 of these tanks, but didn't cause much damage. Here he brings in more Shilkas because he's getting fucked by gunships. He's getting fucked by Hueys, and then I got 2 Cobras and 2 Apaches running around just killing stuff. And oh yeah, what happened here was he brought this like tank column in through here, which had Tunguskas in it. And my paratroopers and stuff saw it. They took out like 1 or 2 vehicles with their laws as they were driving through, but mostly they got past the paratroopers largely unharmed. And I sent my Cobras up, and the Tunguskas were just driving. They weren't shooting. My Cobras got like the Tunguskas were like right here. My Cobras were like right there, and the Cobras just fucked up the Tunguskas at point blank range with the cannon fire, other 20 mils, rocket pods, and some ATGMs. So another example of my fucking gunships winning fights that they shouldn't win. Last time it was 1 Apache taking out 3 Rolands, and this time it was 2 Cobras just fucking up 2 Tunguskas. So I didn't get to see that because I missed it, because there's always so much going on in this one. But yeah, my Cobras just pretty much have a free roam over here to just kill shit, and then I bring in my Lynxes to help stun the important targets so we can focus on them. And I got more Leopard 2A4s here blocking the road, so we're fine. Not concerned at all. I'm just like, yeah, free points. And that was it. 1 more T-80 died, and that was all the points we needed. 4,523 to 3,053. It's a pretty good game. As you can see, I got the majority of kills, and my casualties were pretty minimum. This guy left the fucking game before he could even lose anything, and his units killed like 1 or 2 APCs, I think. So without him even giving them orders. So that's that. Rage did get more command points than me. And Rage actually friend requested me after this, so maybe we'll eventually get some games with Rage and me. I haven't like talked to him on Skype or anything yet, but he's pretty cool. He often sends me game invites. So we'll see if we can add him into me and Deadly Rubber Ducks and get some 3v3s going, maybe. I was impressed by how he used the terrain so effectively to his advantage. It was a very good gameplay from him, despite the fact didn't really have the firepower. With inferior firepower, he really held off some enemy assaults that I thought would kind of push him off that hill, but he really used that terrain effectively. So it shows how in-depth this game gets with a line of sight, terrain, and all that stuff. Morale, stun effects from rocket pods, and all that stuff. Everything needs to be taken into account in this game. It's great. I love it. It's pretty awesome. So that's that game. Thanks for watching, guys.